I think what I love about Oxford the most is just that small town feel. Like, there are times where we've had people in the community help me and my family out in a bunch of different ways. From, you know, it could be just giving my daughter a ride home from soccer practice to, being coming to games and supporting my initiatives through my foundation. Like, Oxford is just a cool community to be a part of because everybody takes care of everybody, kind of like back in the day.
Oxford, no matter how fast we grow, still has that feeling where neighbors still speak to each other. If you walk around the square and you pop in a store, everybody in there is going to ask you how you're doing.
I can walk around the street, and this is not because I'm famous or important, but people know, they'll say Officer Anderson, or some of them call me Big Z, or whatever they call me, and they'll wave to me and my family even while I'm out in town.
Well, so many of my friends, we've grown up, and those friends are now leaders in the community, and I can just reach out to them in a friendly way or a business way. I think swimming back upstream to where I'm from is very important. I just love it here.
The community is so welcoming. The hospitality is so generous, and the quality of life, I just don't think that you can find a town that's our size that offers this quality of life.
Every morning there's a dad who comes through my car rider line, and every morning he gives me either a breakfast bar, a sucker, for no reason. It's just because he's a nice guy. And I think that happens a lot in this town.
I found that the people who are born and raised in Oxford are very warm and welcoming, and they always they're always very open to telling me about new things to see and try in Oxford.
Where we are physically, a quarter of a mile is my house. I can walk to my sister's house that's 2 minutes that way. My father lives about 3 minutes that way. So it's home. I can't imagine living anywhere else.
It's a smaller town, it has a strong community, but it feels a lot bigger and more vibrant than you would think.
You get the benefit of a big city with all the SEC sporting events and the theater events at the Gertrude Ford Center and all the speakers that come in, and you kind of get the big city experience, but you get to keep the small town charm.
I think it's going to always keep a quaint feel. It's going to keep a hometown feel, but I think at the same time it's embracing change and it's embracing growth on different sides of the town.
They have a community for every walk of life here, which I appreciate, from the art community to LGBT community, Christian community, the whole base.
And I think that people might get lulled. A lot of people have their own stereotypes about the state of Mississippi. And when I moved here, all my friends in Detroit and everywhere else, I can't believe you're moving to Mississippi. I can't believe you're moving to Mississippi. This has been one of the best moves, and I love the community, and I love where I'm living here in Oxford. So I just encourage everyone to come and visit me in Oxford so that they can see what Mississippi really is like.
So Oxford is a place that if you hadn't been here, you're probably maybe deceived by what it is now. Like before I came here, we knew the history of Ole Miss and the town, and it's totally not that anymore.
Everything about Oxford, it's a beautiful town in the fact that it's not a large citizenry here. Now we have a lot of students here, but because it's small, we kind of know everybody. I think the big thing here would do something on the university or go up to the square if you have one day here, and I would say, you gotta enjoy the food here.
Pop into one of our great restaurants for lunch, some shopping in the afternoon, maybe go visit Roanoke and go through Faulkner Trails, end up at the University Museum.
Maybe do a little walking in Oxford, maybe walk around the square, maybe go over and explore Lamar Park. I neglected to say, Ole Miss is beautiful too. The campus is beautiful, the landscaping is amazing.
I lived off of Sisk Avenue on Murray Street, near Avent Park. And Avent Park has been there for quite a while, and as a kid, summer, spring, winter, fall, our family took advantage of the park. But as of late, I'm able to take my kids there, especially on snow days and when it's icy and we sled. So I really, a lot of my memories revolve around Avent Park.
Oxford and Ole Miss have a really unique relationship. In many college towns, you kind of have the university and the community, you know, and they're very separate, and they kind of operate in silos, and you take care of you, I'll take care of me kind of mentality. But in Oxford, the university is kind of the center of the donut. You don't really know when you leave campus and enter the town, and you don't, and vice versa. We succeed together, and we face challenges together, and we're both facing the challenges of growth right now.
The university's grown, and I think the town can feel it and more than tolerates it, because with the growth comes a lot of positive, business and a lot of other positive aspects. So the university is what has kept Oxford growing and on the map.
We spend a lot of time, the university and city together, trying to solve traffic issues, not by building roads, but 1.6 million people rode our public transportation last year. For a town of our size, it's amazing, and that's not 1.6 million different people, but it's 1.6 million trips from A to B that didn't happen in a car.
Exactly.
And so that's how we continue to improve our traffic issues and our road infrastructure, is trying to get creative. And so the university is a great partner in trying to figure out creative solutions.
Double Decker just has become a part of the Oxford culture, and leading up to Double Decker, you can tell there's a feeling in the air.
Still, my favorite thing to do is to get up here before the sun comes up and see all the art vendors filing in and finding their spots, and musicians rolling in with their equipment.
Oh, when I think of Double Decker, I think of the time we went there, and my brother was in town, who lives in Iowa, and we took Mom, and we planned to walk around the square and stay for an hour or two. We stayed 6 hours. Mom stood on one of the benches outside of Heartbreak Coffee and danced 6 hours straight.
Our first year, we only had $10,000 to plan the festival with, and I went to the Beacon restaurant and asked people that drove 18-wheeler rigs if they would drop their rig on the square on Friday when they pulled into town, and those were our stages. We started with that. In year one, we estimated that we had about 9,000 people, and last year I think we had 80,000.
In the late 90s, we would go, and I would run into classmates that are there with their children. Now, I'm going to see people from my past that make the trek home for Double Decker. But there are 100,000 people.
Oxford is just so unique, but on Double Decker, that's kind of my Christmas.
Oxford means family. Oxford means love. Oxford means community.
Oxford is a lot of things to a lot of people. Oxford is my home. Oxford is where I make my living. Oxford is where I will retire.
I want Oxford always to be home base, because it's hometown and it's literally home.
Oxford means home to me. Like, it is my home. It is my special place in this chapter of my life.
Oxford is home to me. It's the place that I came to, decide who I was going to be when I grew up. And I feel like I've kind of grown up with Oxford.
It's home. It's home. When I'm down, I've had people in this community pick me up. When I do something good, they recognize it. When I've done something maybe out of character, they've helped correct me and steer me straight, and that's kind of what family does. And so, in a way, it's home.
Don't you know